I, Anisha Fugan, take great pride in inviting our first guest, Mr. Ankur Chaturvedi, AVP at Emami, with over 25 years of leadership experience in operations and supply chain. He is a certified ESG expert with an MBA from Indian Institute of Chartered Financial Analysts and an MDP from IIM Ahmedabad. A TEDx speaker, published author, former soldier and alumnus of National Defense Academy, Mr. Chaturvedi brings resilience, leadership, and a passion for sustainability to his work. Let us all welcome him to the stage.
Hunger is a global problem. 800 million people across the world live in extreme poverty and sleep hungry every day. Do you think you can do something to solve this? I'll not wait for a show of hands now, because I'm sure, like me, most of you feel that such a big problem cannot be solved by someone inconsequential like me or you or any individual. I'm fortunate to work for an organization where making people happy is a core value. Mr. S.K. Goenka, with whom I work very closely, has impressed upon me that the true measure of success is the ability to wipe tears and making people smile. Not just the organization I work for, but the larger business community in India, especially the Indian companies, have philanthropy inbuilt in their very ethos. But today, I stand here not to tell you about big industrialists or stories of huge projects which have transformed our society. I want to talk about a friend of mine, my friend Naveen Arjun Sori, and his efforts at democratization of philanthropy. Naveen, like me, was a Fauji brat. Now brat, B-R-A-T, stands for born, raised and transferred. And it normally signifies a soldier's child. In my case, of course, it could be the dictionary meaning. Growing up, Naveen wanted to be a doctor. After class 12th, he should have been in a medical college, but he ended up in the Merchant Navy as a cadet. Few years of sailing and he was fed up. He quit sailing and enrolled for a MCA in a college in Bangalore. Now, in those days, ragging was a norm. Naveen was much elder to most of his seniors. He had spent a lot of time at sea and become a tough nut. His seniors' attempts to rag him ended up in them getting ragged. Now this, my friends, is an untenable situation. And surely enough, Naveen had to leave campus, quit his studies. But fortunately for him, the Golden Gate University had set up a campus in Mumbai with the STG Group of India, and Naveen enrolled in this campus for a bachelor's course in computer information technology. This was a blessing in disguise. Naveen topped the course and got the Dean's Award. This award won him an MBA in Fordham University in the US. He was all set to board his flight to New York on the 12th of September 2001. We all know what happened a day before that. 9/11. The world changed. Naveen's life changed. He couldn't go to New York. He had to get back to sailing. He did sail for a few years, but his thirst for knowledge and resilience propelled him to a degree from the World Maritime University in Sweden on a 100% scholarship from the government of the United Kingdom. By 2004, Naveen had moved on to a shore job. In 2011, he had a high-profile job in Hong Kong. He lived in an upmarket neighborhood with a nice house, a very loving family, everything that he ever wanted, and a Mercedes to drive. His life was a bliss. But this was about to change again. In April 2011, Naveen's car was hit by a speeding van. He was seriously injured. Rushed to hospital with very serious injuries. He gained consciousness after a few days. He'd lost his memory. He couldn't even recognize his wife. He could feel the pain, see his wounds, but didn't know how or why he was in hospital. After endless rounds of therapy, multiple surgeries, and 5 months, he was able to walk out of hospital on crutches. Naveen was a marathon runner. Today, he was struggling to walk. Even mentally, he had memory issues and had to continue therapy. Some of the best doctors and therapists tried hard. The prayers of his friends and family definitely helped. And within a year, Naveen had a miraculous recovery. He was back to his almost old self. Naveen's close encounter with death triggered an epiphany for the true meaning of life. He wondered how his life was different from any other animal, say a dog or an ant. He would get up every morning, and like the most of us, his life till then, he would get up, go around foraging all day, all his life hoarding to die and be forgotten. As humans, we have the ability to move mountains. We have the ability to conquer seas. Are we using our ability to create any good? Are we leaving the planet any better than it was when we were born? Is there anything that we will create which will live on and create good even after we are gone? Well, these were the questions which worried Naveen, but he couldn't have the answers. Ever since he'd moved to Hong Kong, he used to volunteer with the Satya Sai Baba Foundation there, which used to go around helping the destitute in Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong, despite its glitter and glamour, has a large number of destitute living in abject poverty. They live in public spaces, hide in parks. The biggest challenge to help them was to find them. Naveen's IT mind wanted to solve this problem. And the advent of Pokemon Go gave him the idea. Just like Pokemons could appear anywhere using technology, he conceptualized an app where a person in need could be geotagged. You could take out your smartphone, take a picture, The picture would be geotagged. You type a small description, and everyone who has this app gets an alert of that person in need. Anyone with that little bit extra could walk that extra mile and create that extra mile on that hungry person's face. Naveen offers his app and even the code free of cost. His only expectation of return is the good that this app will help create. The United Nations Development Program estimates that 40% of the food produced in India is wasted. 50% of the food produced the world over never reaches the needy. This app is an effort to change that. It democratizes philanthropy. It empowers every individual to do good, irrespective of his or her own financial status or his ability to help. Imagine you're sitting in a restaurant and you get an alert that someone around you is hungry. Would you not pack a little bit and on your way out give that food to that someone? In India, all of us have leftover food at our home. We put it in small katoris in the fridge, rarely to be ever eaten again. Now, if you knew that there was someone close to your place sitting hungry, would you not walk that extra mile and feed that hungry man and bring out that one smile? Despite his good intentions, Naveen could not get his app to become popular, and without scale, the app was not making any impact. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho has a very interesting line made famous by our very own Shah Rukh Khan also, although in Hindi, that when you want something, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. Well, in Naveen's case, this proved true. He was in a holiday in Geneva. Not on a holiday, he was on an official trip in Geneva, and he had some free time, and he decided to visit the UN office. Now, it was that one day of the year that UN throws its doors open for the common man to share their ideas for the good of humanity. When Naveen was there, the gates opened, and he found himself on the lawns of the UN office, face to face with UN officials. He pitched his app. UN reviewed and endorsed his app on their website via ITU, their Agency for Information Communication. They shared it on their social media, hailing it as tech for good. Naveen did various pilots. A pilot that he did in 2019 with the Dabbawalas of Mumbai was covered by the BBC and shown in their weekly technology program Click. The government of Singapore is considering incorporating Gift Deed app into their citizens app. As we talk today, NDRF is evaluating this for use in disaster relief. But there's still a long way to go. For centuries, the greatest thinkers have believed that true happiness is found in helping others. Naveen had to go through hell to come to this realization. You and I have the option of learning from Naveen. I call upon you that today, when you get up from your dining table, don't put that katori in the fridge. Find the person hungry, feed him, and see the smile yourself. I'm hopeful that with your support, Naveen's app, and so many other initiatives that are being done, we'll be able to create not one, but many more smiles. Jai Hind.